the MetaTrader 5. So it helps me in classifying time frames into 3. First off, let's list all of those time frames we have already. We have the M1, we have the M5, we have the M15, we have the M30, the H1, the H4, the D1, and the weekly time frame, and then the monthly. So in that classification, the M1, the M5, the M15, I'm going to class lower time frames. H1 all the way to the MN, I'm going to classify them as intermediate time frame. So this is the default that we're going to use. The M1, the M5, the M15 as lower time frame, the M30 as intermediate, the H1, the H4, the D1, the weekly as higher time frame. Now, each of these classifications, they have its own uses. That's why you need to really understand the classifications itself. So for that of the lower time frame, M1, M5, M15, the lower time frame is used in getting entries and confirmations. Is used in getting entries and confirmation. I'm going to explain it further. Is used in getting entries and confirmation. Is it not better someone to trade use that phone instead of you so that you are yeah. But it's fun. I'm still getting Newell can do it, and I want more 0.5. Yes, that point. So the higher time frame H1, H4, D1 weekly, and then the MN. Now these are higher time frame. They are used in getting the general view of the market. I'll still explain all of this. General view. And then the M30 as the intermediate time frame is the bridge between this and this. And then when we are looking at time frame accordance, it's often negligible. But let's just say that this is like a bridge connecting this and this one. So our ability to understand that there's an M1 and M5 and M15 for lower time frame, and then there's an M30 for intermediate time frame. There's a H1, H4, D1, WK, MN for higher time frame that helps us in seeing the general view of the market. We good? Do you understand this part? Do you understand this part? Good. So what do we mean by general view of the market? So the higher time frame helps you. That's the normal distance. In fact, there's a thing we do that before we try to trade, let's assume that I want to trade this 31s. The normal thing I often do is you have to start from the higher time frame. We'll still come back to time frame accordance. But whenever you want to trade, you have to start from the higher time frame to look at the general view of the market. Now, you're not just starting from any higher time frame. You're going to start from the first one that gives you that general view. So you're not just starting from any. Remember higher time frame, we have H1 in higher time frame, we have H4 in higher time frame, we have D1 there. But you're going to start from the first one that gives you the general view. Now, this is what I mean. So I'm currently in my H1. Now, H1 is higher time frame. But this particular H1 is not giving me the general view. Why? Because if I scroll all the way down, I can still see markets that happened in the past. Do you get? I can still see. So it's not... By general view, I mean you can see the totality of the market without even moving an inch. Just seeing everything like that. If I go to my H4, scroll all the way down, I'm still seeing markets that happened in the past. So this is not giving me that general view. It's still part of higher time frame. Oh. If you go to the D1, can you see that you're seeing every part of the... Okay, wait. It's not even loaded. Yes, you're seeing every part of the chart on this D1. I don't need to say, I have to scroll the way down. No. Just seeing everything already here. So if you want to even start analyzing, you have to refer to this one. We'll still come to all of that. But now let's go back to the time frames. So for the time frames, after you've known that there's a classification M1, M5, M15, and you know that the lower time frames are for entries and confirmations, the higher time frames are for general view, and then the intermediates, that's the one, the bridge between the two of them is what? Negligible. We good?
Yes.
Now, there's something we call an accordance that brings all these time frames together. Meaning that before I take any trade, I have to refer to that accordance first. If you don't, it becomes a problem in your trading. These are some of the missing pieces that are in some people's forex stuff. So what does the accordance tell us? The first part of the accordance tells us that before I take any trade, that I have to make sure that all of my lower time frames agree together. That before I take any trade, that I have to make sure that all of my lower time frames agree together. And what do we mean by that? Now, I want to enter a trade. I have to first of all, all of the lower agree together. Meaning that if, now I know that I have 3 time frames in the lower, M1, M5, and what? And what? What's happening? M1, M5, and what? We are traders. You know there's no introvert in forex trading, right? You know that? Introvert not there forex, so if you're an introvert, you blow your accounts. Good. So M1, M5, and M15. So the first thing to the accordance is that before I take a trade, all of my lower should agree. Meaning that if I'm seeing a buy in my M1, I should as well see a buy in my M5 and a buy in my M15. Now, if it's in a case whereby you don't obey to this rule, let's assume that there's a buy in M1, a buy in M5, and then an M15 a sell. Now, normally some people might not really look at all of it. You might go for your buy, you might just enter the buy. But you know what happens? The market would first of all try to correct this sell to a buy. And by trying to do that correction, you go and blow your account. So when it now corrects it, it starts moving in your direction. That's what makes it sometimes you've entered the trade, it goes against you, and then it's going in your favor. Because you didn't hit to the first rule of the time frame accordance, that before you take any trade, all of your lower time frame must agree together before you enter. So you have to be seeing the same thing you're seeing in M1, in M5, and in M15. If it's a sell, I'm seeing a sell in M15. I have to see that same sell in M5. I have to see that same sell in M1 before we enter the trade. Do you understand? So all of the lower time frame must agree together. That's the first rule of the accordance. All of the lower time frame must agree together. Now, the second rule of the accordance says that that's one. The lower time frame needs to agree to at least one. Lower time frame needs to agree to at least one. To at least one of the higher time frame. The second rule is that the lower time frame needs to agree to at least one of the higher time frame. So I already know that I have to have the same thing in my lower time frame. If I'm going to see a sell in M1, I should see the same in M5. I should see the same in M15. But now it needs to agree to at least one of my higher, meaning that if M1 here is going for a buy, M5 here is going for a buy, M15 here is going for a buy. Now it meets one of the criteria, it meets this one. But before I enter the trade, I have to see the same buy in at least one of the higher. Not in all of the higher. Do you get? Don't get the English. At least one of the higher. So, in the higher, we have H1, we have H4, we have D1, MN, and the rest. So, if all of this is sell, and I'm seeing a buy here, the market is valid. We can now enter for the buy. But if all of this were sells, crazy.
Because there's no accordance between the higher and the lower time frame.
So there's no accordance between the higher and the lower. What about M30? So do you understand it? Yeah. Do you understand it? Yeah. Can we put it into the chart? Can we try it on the chart? Yeah. So let's try and see if we can do it ourselves on the chart. So assuming that we want to look at this market the way it is on the chart, imagine that we want to look at this market the way it is on the chart. Now, throw away your support and resistance, throw away your trend lines, throw away your... Just let's look at the markets just the way it is on the chart. And I go to my weekly. Okay, let's start from the daily. Just we're looking at the market the way it is on the charts. Again, throw away all of those informations you've known. So don't come and tell me you are seeing a break and a retest. There's no trend line here. There's no support. I'm not drawing anything. Just the way it's on the chart. So if you're looking at the way this market is on the chart, we want to see the view of this market. Would you say that this market is selling or buying? Huh? Do we agree? Why? From here to this is the highest point, and this is the lowest part of the market, correct? So it's what? Is what? In your book, write that you're seeing D1 sell. Just write it. You could just turn to the back or something, just so that we are following, so that we're together. Just at the back, like D1 sell. And then what about H4? Do we think the H4 is buying or selling? Just at the general trend of the market? Everyone is agreeing. Yes. So from here all the way to where the market is. So H4 buy, you can write it as well. What about in H1? H1 was in a sell? Good. Fine. Oh. What about M30? We agree. Right. Eh? What about M15? Eh? We are seeing it. It's not just me that is seeing it. What about M5? And then what about M1? Good. Now I'm going to ask people on this row, this second row. Anybody? Wait, now I've not said anything. only people on the second row. If you have to take the trade based on what you've written, would you be buying or would you be selling? Just the people on the second row. Yes? You not place. You not do anything. Do we agree with them? Do we agree with them? So let's try this last one. But I don't want you to tell me. Just write it. So don't tell me. Just write it on your own. I'm going to look for another index. So don't tell me. What are you seeing? That's right. Don't tell me. Yes, sir. We're good? We're good with M1? I don't ask you now. That's right. Weekly? Weekly no follow. You follow? No, let's stop at D1. So I want to believe that we fully understand it, right? So let's say everyone on this row, I want you to echo the same thing. Wait. Can we echo the same thing? Everybody. On what we're going to do?
Yes.
Can we?
Yes.
So everyone here, what are we going to do? Sir, everyone here saying sir. There's someone at the back that wanted to say bye. Yes, sir. So what about people here? If you say bye, everyone here will give sell for this. I agree with you, is the sell. M5. M5 sell. M50. This one is easy now. That's why now. And then the last one. Oh, this is the last. So what made it to sell? All of the lower time frame was giving sell, and then is agreeing to that is asking you to sell. Do we understand? Let's try just one last time. Just one last time. So we're using the same process. Just one last time. Don't tell me. Just write it. So one last time from the M1, what are you seeing? Just write. Just write. Just write. M5, what are you seeing? Just write. M15. M30. H1. H4. V1. So what are we going with? Yeah. Nothing. So everyone here is saying they sell, right? So based on what you've done, let's say from this side first. Based on what you've done,
We buy.
We're buying.
Yes, sir.
And then people here. So your D1, you're seeing what? D1, you're seeing what? H1, you're seeing what? H4, this one, you're seeing what? This one? So I want to believe that we understand it. So whenever you want to take a trade, always make sure that all of your lower time frame are agreeing together. Not just that all of them are agreeing together, but they are agreeing to the particular this thing that is happening. This is too much. Yes, so my brother, have fun now. Ask. Who is asking? So we're just looking at the general trend. We're not even putting trend lines in. Just what we are seeing on the charts. So just a quick one. So if I want to analyze this jump 10 index, I told us that we often start from the higher time frame, right? So H1 is higher time frame. Can I start the analysis from here? Can I start it from here? Yes. Someone said 4 hours. Can I start it from here? H4? What? D1? Yes. Someone said H4, D1. So which one? D1 was starting the analysis from D1. So I can't even say that I want to start it from the weekly. You can. I can. Yes, D1 is better. D1 is better. So tomorrow's class we're going to delve more into this, but let me just put in an introductory into it. If you want to analyze, the first thing you do is to start from the higher time frame. But then I told us earlier on that you're not just starting from any higher time frame, it's not just any. You're starting from the particular higher time frame that has the first one. The first higher time frame that has the general view. So we have the H1. It has the general view. It's a higher time frame. But if I scroll all the way down, you can still see markets that happened in the past. It's loading. Let's restart it one is. So this is H1. I can't start my analysis from here because if I start all the way down, I can still see markets that happened in the past. That means I'm not seeing the totality of the markets here. If I go to H4, I cannot start here because if I scroll, I can still see the whole thing. Whatever time frame you're going to start your analysis from, part of what we'll learn tomorrow is, it has to show you the whole thing on the charts. You're seeing every part of it on the chart. That's the first one you have to start from. The D1. Now, on the D1, I don't need to scroll. I don't need to say, what's happening? I'm seeing every part of this market on this chart. Do you understand? So if I'm going to start my analysis, I have to start the analysis from what? The D1. Do we understand? Why? Because it is the first that shows me the general trend of the markets.